Hello, good morning. Welcome to the Save Time Chasing webinar. My name's Amaya. I'm in the marketing team here at Chaser, and I'll be taking you through the session today. Just to take you through some general housekeeping before we get going, we will email you following the webinar with links to our free trial and our setup training webinar, so you don't need to take any extensive notes on where to find those. My colleague Amy in our onboarding team will follow up with you after, and she'll be able to answer any questions that you might have following the webinar about integration or anything like that. Just to go through what we'll cover today then, I'll take you through how Chaser helps. So what exactly Chaser is and the problems that we help you solve. I'll take you through how it works. So you'll see a demo of the key features that are helping our users to save time and get those invoices paid sooner. Next, you'll learn why we're the best solution available. And lastly, I'll take you through next steps. So how to make the most of your 14 days free and access our setup training. So what is Chaser? Chaser is the market-leading cloud accounts receivable software, and it was designed for businesses that sell their goods or services on payment terms. We integrate seamlessly with key cloud accounting platforms, and we do that to automate invoice chasing, streamline your accounts receivable process, and get you paid on time in less time. In terms of the problems that we solve, I'm sure a lot of you on this webinar will know that late payments can be a huge problem for lots of the businesses that sell on payment terms. And in fact, in the average month, 48% of all invoices are paid late. And more recent research has found that globally, there's been a 209% increase in overdue invoices since the World Health Organization declared the pandemic. So this is becoming an increasing problem for businesses. And this can lead to a number of issues. So that could be hours spent on manual, quite ineffective accounts receivable processes. It can mean difficulty in your forecasting because you don't know when that cash is coming in. And in the present time, it's unfortunately even more commonly leading to business failures. But our founder at Chaser was a 4-time small business finance director, and he found himself constantly frustrated by late payments and the same problems that they were causing for the businesses that he was working in. So he set out on creating the ultimate solution in Chaser. To demonstrate how Chaser helps solve these problems, I've got some key stats here on screen about what our users experience. So on average, our users get paid 16 or more days faster. They've saved over 15 hours per week on their accounts receivable tasks, and they've reduced days sales outstanding by an average of 25% or more. There's a quote on screen here from Rosanna, who's one of our users at a company called Love Brands, which is a fashion wholesaler. She uses Chaser integrated with Xero, and they're saving 15 hours per week in their team at the moment. I'll just take you through a quick demo now of the kind of top level features of Chaser that are helping our users to save time and get their invoices paid sooner. I'm going to briefly take you through the newly released Chaser payment portal as well. Okay, great. So I'm in the Chaser app now. It's worth noting, so you know what's involved in the setup process for Chaser. Once you sign up for your free trial and log in, you'll come to a page just like this. This is called the Chase feed, or essentially the home page for Chaser. And there will be a little bar along the bottom prompting you to connect Chaser to your accounting system. You simply click on that bar to log into your accounting system. Then Chaser syncs and creates a two-way integration with your system. It only takes 2 minutes for Chaser to complete this sync, and then all of your customer and invoice data will be in the Chaser account. So essentially, you're connected and ready to start chasing in just 2 minutes. So the core pillar of Chaser's chasing functionality is our email template. So if I go into a medium overdue example here, You can see how these are built. So this copy outside of the brackets is what we call our repeatable prose. The I hope you're well, best regards, the general text, and that remains the same across each template that you send out. And then we've got our placeholders along the side. And these can be things like the recipient first name, the sender first or last name, the amount overdue. You can include a link to their payment portal. There's quite a few options down there for you to explore, but these are essentially completely customizable. So you can make sure that they are adapted to whichever language you'd normally use when communicating with customers. So customers aren't going to suspect that this email has come from an automated system, and that's going to give you the best chance of getting paid. So this is how it would appear if a customer has one overdue invoice, but if they have multiple invoices, Chaser automatically groups them together into one reminder, like shown on the screen here. So that's instead of sending out, a separate reminder for every invoice which they have overdue. So you're going to save a considerable amount of time using Chaser because you won't have to kind of look at those accounts that have more than one invoice outstanding. You won't have to piece together that information. But again, your customers aren't going to know that they're being chased by an automated system because this information will be grouped together just like a person has prepared it. So they're much more likely to take notice of these hand-typed appearing emails and pay those invoices. I wanted to quickly show you in the templates as well. There's some additional features here. You can choose to automatically attach a copy of the invoice and automatically attach a copy of the customer statement to each reminder. That can quite easily be forgotten when done manually, and it just makes sure your customers are going to have everything they need to get that invoice paid as soon as this reminder hits their inbox. So whilst I was in the template section, I wanted to quickly touch on the new payment portal that we have. So one of the placeholders that you can use in your emails is to link customers out to their dedicated payment portal. This is an example that I've got on screen here from our demo account, where they can see all of their outstanding invoices and all of their previously paid invoices. They can also download anything and choose to pay now through your chosen payment platform. And it means you can offer customers multiple payment options in one place. And that's, again, going to increase your chances of getting paid. It saves you time on that back and forth payment admin because customers are going to have everything they need to make that payment or to contact you about any queries in one place. And it keeps customers informed on what's due when. So you're always on the same page. Essentially, we've just built this portal to ease communication and help make both yours and your customers' lives easier. So at Chaser, these templates that I showed you slot into our schedules. These schedules dictate when and the frequency at which your templates would be sent out. You can set up as many schedules as required. As you can see, we've got quite a lot here in our demo account, and this makes Chaser very adaptable. So as you can see, we've got some examples of COVID-19 payment plan schedules here. A lot of our customers had their own customers or clients whose businesses had been quite badly impacted by the effects of the pandemic, and they use Chaser schedules to set up schedules for chasing payment plan installments rather than the total invoices. So it can be very flexible and adaptable in that way. A lot of our users as well will set up, for instance, a separate schedule for chasing their long-term clients who maybe they want to chase in a different or more sensitive way to their regular customers. Essentially, they just make sure that you're always chasing the right groups of customers in the best way possible to encourage payment. So if I go into a bad payers example here, you can see that these schedules are set up relative to the invoice due date. So it goes from 35 days before the invoice is due all the way to 32 days after the invoice become overdue. So this gives you the chance to send reminders before and after the invoice due date, as well as you can see here, on the date that the invoice is paid as well. So we've set up a number of kind of polite reminders or gentle nudges, just checking in that everything is on track before the invoice due date. And you can obviously set up as many overdue reminders as you want as well. So obviously this is our bad pay schedule. If you're anticipating they're going to take quite a bit more nudging to get that invoice paid, you can add in as many as you need to. Then once the invoice is paid, Chaser lets you automatically send a thanks for paying message out to your customers. So customers are always going to have that confirmation that you've received their payment. But with Chaser, you don't need to spend any time writing them out. And we have found for our users that choose to use these thanks for paying messages, they see significantly improved future payment times from their repeat customers too. The last thing I wanted to touch on in the schedules that's helping some of our users get paid quicker is our escalation feature. So as you can see along the right-hand side, we've got the sender is normal initially, and then it goes up to escalated after a few reminders. So a normal sender might be somebody like your credit controller or your accounts receivable clerk. And if you're not getting a response from using that sender after a while, you can choose to escalate the sender. And this might be somebody like your finance director, or a lot of our users will start using a legal at company address at this point, and it really does make your customers sit up and take notice and get those invoices paid. So where Chaser really exceeds in getting invoices paid as well is in its automated humanity. So every feature of the Chaser app has been purpose-built to make sure your customers don't know that you're using an automated system. And we've done this because we know customers are much more likely to take notice of email reminders that look hand-typed. So this section I'm in now is where you set up your email senders, and your Chasers sent to customers are always going to reflect your normal email address. It's not going to look like it's come from a third-party system. If I show you my email address here, you can also paste in your normal signature. So it's going to have your same branding and look exactly like it was sent by somebody internally. And if I just move over to the timings tab quickly, you can see how you can schedule your Chasers to go out. So you can line up your Chaser sending times and days with after when you do your bank reconciliation. So your customers would never be chased for an invoice incorrectly if they have already paid it. And to make sure you're always operating with the most up-to-date information, Chaser syncs with your accounting system every hour. It syncs before any Chaser is sent out. You can also choose to sync Chaser on demand too with this Sync Now button up in the corner. So even though you're going to be saving a lot of time by chasing automatically, you'll always be chasing correctly. So Chaser's CRM or receivables section gives you an overview of all of the communications with your customers, and that includes Chasers, phone calls, and email responses. You can see this both in a customer and an invoice view. So if I go into an example customer here, you can see any Chasers that have been sent to them. It also automatically pulls in any replies or responses from that customer. And you have a notes feature here, which means that you can log any notes from calls that you've had. You can click at and assign follow-up tasks to any team members. And you can also set a reminder for yourself to follow up or take a specific action on a certain date. If I go into one of their invoices, if you have had a call with a customer and they've promised to pay on a different date, you can update their expected payment date here. And because Chaser has a two-way integration with your accounting system, that data will also be pushed back and updated in your accounting system too. Chaser won't chase any invoices until their new expected payment date has passed. I lastly wanted to show you from our reports page, you can view the health of your receivables, and that includes your outstanding versus overdue amounts. It includes your chased amounts and the total amount paid for your business. So you can see that month by month there. And you can also see a report of which of your customers are posing the most risk. So there's a table of those customers that represent the highest percentage of your receivables outstanding, the credit limit you've set for them, and what percentage they are currently at. And these few reports are essentially helping our users to get more visibility on the performance of their receivables and help them decide which customers to continue trading with. So these were some of the top level features that are helping our users to save time and get paid faster. There's a lot more to explore in the app, but I wanted to try and keep this brief for this webinar. So I'll just resume with the slides. So why choose Chaser as your receivable solution? Chaser is the market leading solution, and we've been supporting businesses with their accounts receivables for over 7 years now. And from consistently providing these great results to our users, we've received some great feedback and recognition. So we have over 400 reviews now, all at a perfect 5-star rating. And this makes us the highest rated app available for accounts receivables on Xero's marketplace. We're also the 4th highest rated app in the entire Xero marketplace. And we've received a number of high profile industry awards for the great work we've done in helping small and medium businesses. So that includes winning Xero App Partner of the Year in 2016, App Partner of the Month in August 2019, and being awarded Cloud App of the Year for 3 years running at the Accounting Excellence Awards. So in terms of our next steps, as I mentioned, my colleague Amy will send you an email after the webinar with further information, access to the free trial, and access to sign up for the setup training webinar. You can also send her any questions that you might have after the webinar. I saw a couple in the chat box. I've taken a note of them so she can respond in the follow-up too. And once you start your trial, Amy runs a how to optimize your Chaser account webinar, which will take you through a complete setup walkthrough and all of the features in detail. The next one is actually going to be at 10 a.m. tomorrow, UK time. So Amy will be sending a sign-up link for that in the follow-up email too. So thanks everyone for joining. I hope you found this useful, and our team will be in touch shortly.